Good afternoon, overlooking Mizzou Arena after a win that you guys probably needed every bit as much as the Missouri basketball team needed it. I don't remember what the final score was. It ended up being a lot closer than we thought it was going to be. 84-79, a three-pointer that I think was important to some people out there. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll bring Drew King on in just a minute. I am Gabe DeArmond. Want to remind you, as always, after a Missouri basketball game, we are brought to you by the Bruning Law Firm. When you're hurting, time matters, and the Bruning Law Firm has your back. Their talented team of personal injury lawyers uses all of their data and experience to achieve real results fast. You can call the Bruning Law Firm for a free consultation today at 573-400-2796. 573-400-2796. The Brunings help people in Missouri, Kansas, and Illinois. And unfortunately, today, the injuries are where we are going to have to start. Drew King joins me now. And Drew, that game with 11 minutes left, kind of everything switched when Honor Boateng went down. And what Dennis Gates said 9 times out of 10 is a season-ending injury. He doesn't know specifics yet. We don't want to speculate too much, but you don't see guys taking off on stretchers and they're back real soon very often.
No, you really don't. It's my heart's broken for him. He made a couple of really big plays leading up to that point, right? He had a thunderous putback slam dunk. He had a block on defense, and he was leading the fast break, and just takes an awkward trip and falls hard. And that might be the last time we see him for a long time. So all good thoughts, prayers to Honor Boateng. And like you said, the vibe definitely shifted after he went down. It took the team a little while to get back into the swing of things. So, that was rough to see.
Yeah, and he, like you said, it just he had literally just scored his first basket in SEC play. He was actually playing with a little authority and maybe even some confidence. He was about to go dunk it again. And look, guys, we agree with you. It looks like he slipped. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the court. I don't know if it should have been. I'm not looking to blame anybody. Terrible accident, obviously, and you feel for the kid because he has really struggled, I think, with his confidence and with his game since he got here. And I think with this team, the other injury, that probably honestly is more impactful. I mean, Shawn Phillips didn't finish this game. Dennis Gates said he sprained an ankle. That one doesn't sound nearly as serious, but probably a good time to have a week off.
It's definitely a good time to have a week off. And for all the people who have been wondering why Shawn Phillips plays so much or have doubted his impact on the team, I thought today was an example of why he's really important in the rotation, right? Because once he went out, Mississippi State started scoring at the rim. They started pulling down offensive rebounds, and Mizzou's small ball lineup kind of struggled to close out the game. And I think Shawn Phillips definitely could have made a difference there. So he's a guy that you're definitely hoping they can get back soon. But again, we don't know really what the specifics there are either.
Right. And again, that one did not sound quite as serious, but look, main takeaways. By the way, I think we found your fans in the chat, Drew. They're big fans. Harrison Pomerantz, big fan of yours, as is Sam at MIZ Sports. And do want to invite you guys, comments, questions in the chat. Billy's running the show. We got voicemails. We'll get to them. Here's my main takeaway from this one once you get past the injuries. Nothing, don't worry about easy, don't worry about style points. This team has to win games, and the margin of error is slim enough. Nothing is going to come particularly easy to this team. It looked like it was going to. They were up 15, then Boateng gets hurt, and 20-8 run, and we've got a 3-point game in what would have been, I mean, make no mistake, this would have been a catastrophic loss, but I don't think this is a team we can worry about style points. At the end of the day, you got to find a way to have one more point than the other team.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I've also got more bad news, Gabe, for all the people out there who may have had an interest in how that game ended. I remember there was a shot like that happened here a couple years ago. And technically, the rule is if you catch your own air ball after a legitimate shot attempt, it's not a travel in the NCAA. So
was that a legitimate shot attempt?
You can debate that part of it. I think that Josh Hubbard did try to put a layup up there, and if that's how the referee sees it, technically the right call. I know.
Here's the thing, Drew. They call it gambling for a reason, man. I don't feel bad for anybody that loses money betting on college basketball. You got to be crazy to bet on this game.
Fair enough. Anyways, to your original question, Mizzou got the job done. Again, it would have helped if this was a bigger margin at the end of the day. I think they only moved up one spot on KenPom. They're still outside the top 60. But the main thing that you can hang your hat on right now is that Mizzou doesn't have any quote-unquote bad losses. They're going to finish the year with all wins against quad 3 and quad 4 opponents, right? So the rest of the way, it's all quad 1 and quad 2s, and you still have to go win some of those. But you didn't lose to any bad teams this year, and that's at least something that we haven't always been able to say about Missouri.
No question. And I wrote an instant reaction. I mean, everybody has written this season off 14 times, and had they lost today, I'm done. I mean, you lose this game, I'm not talking about it. But I mean, the path is still there, and it's fairly obvious. Drew, like, they have a better record in SEC play than Georgia does now. They're better than Texas. Like, there are winnable games out here. South Carolina, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Texas. If you beat those teams, you got to find one more, man. It's not that tough. Yeah, I shouldn't say that. It may be tough, but it's not like you can see it.
Yes. So mathematically, absolutely, the chance is still there for sure, right? I don't know that I saw anything today that makes me think like this is definitely an NCAA tournament team, right, or makes me trust that they can go out and win all those games that they're supposed to. But yeah, like the point right now, and I thought T.O. Barrett answered this question pretty well when he got asked, like, do y'all think about the pressure of being on the NCAA tournament bubble? It really is just one game at a time for them right now.
Right.
And you can't really worry about our NCAA tournament odds improved from 18% to 35% today or anything like that. Like, it's just up next is South Carolina on the road, and you got to go try and win that game. And it's going to be like that for every game for the rest of the year.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. This team has 2 games with Arkansas. They could win one by 20 and lose one by 20. There is no telling what this team is going to do, like you've been saying for 3 weeks. I want to focus on just kind of some individuals, and I want to start in a weird place. This was the best Ant Robinson's looked in a while. Wasn't perfect, but like there were finally some signs that, hey, maybe this guy can contribute a little bit, which he hasn't done much of lately.
Well, it's a little sad because, like, it's sad that the bar is he was playable today, right? Because the expectations coming in were so much higher. But Ant Robinson was playable today. He didn't hurt them significantly in the minutes he was out there, which hasn't been the case the past couple of weeks. And I was thinking about this, writing about it for my next column, but like it's kind of a paradox when he doesn't play well, because like this team isn't going to win without Ant Robinson, but there's also nights where it can't win with Ant Robinson. And so if he can stay at this level for the rest of the year, I think they'll be fine. But again, like this wasn't the most impressive Mississippi State team to go up against. It was definitely a get-right game for Missouri. So the question is, can he stay consistent with it? That's what I'm
for sure. And like, he wasn't great tonight. Do you know what his plus minus was? By the way, I just looked at it.
I don't.
Don't look at it and take a guess.
-5. I don't know.
He was minus 16.
Oh,
like
okay.
I don't really think that's all his fault. I think he was in the game when Shawn Phillips was out of the game. And he was in the game late in that run because they needed free throw shit. But like, he stepped up, he made a couple free throws. Like, he did things to help them win the game tonight. And he has not been doing that for 3 weeks. So it is baby steps, but you'll take it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, the bar for him right now is, can you be playable? And tonight he was. He's just got to keep it up for sure.
Because there are too many guys on this team that honestly haven't been. So the other guy, Trent Pierce, go ahead.
I felt like I jinxed Ant tonight because I had a tweet written out that said Ant Robinson hits 2 free throws and is up to 10 points for the first time since the start of SEC play, and then he missed the second free throw. So that's my fault, everybody. I apologize.
Yeah, but I mean, he was 5 of 8 from the line, which is not great, but like, they all hit the rim. Again, we're talking baby steps, man. Trent Pierce goes in the starting lineup, comes out like a house on fire, back-to-back threes early, had 8 points in 3.5 minutes, and then picked up his second foul. I like Dennis Gates still using him in the first half, though, because like, this team's too thin to just take a guy with 2 fouls in the first half and go, you're on the bench. You can't do it, man. You're going to have to play guys in situations where maybe you wouldn't have played him in the past, and I like that Dennis played him. So,
yeah, and that's something I've been wanting to ask Dennis about at some point and haven't really gotten around to it yet. But that's a stat that Kim Palm tracks is 2 foul participation. And
right.
Mizzou's been playing guys a whole lot more when they pick up their second foul. They're 30th right now in 2 foul participation. And so, yeah, like, that's a move.
Because they don't have very many guys to play.
That's true. And especially not after Honor Boateng goes down too. Like, that's going to cut the options that Dennis Gates has moving forward. But yeah, like, I think that was the right move because Trent Pierce was playing so well, but it's also a move that I kind of expected Dennis to make because he's been doing that all season.
All right, Shawn Phillips, you talked about how important he is. I agree. Does that mean you just have to put up with some of the, I don't even know what to call it, man. Like, you got a tech today. It's a tech or it feels like it happens to almost every game, either a tech or a flagrant. Like, do you just kind of have to understand that's part of it?
I think so. And like, today, I didn't mind like the start of the scuffle, right? I thought he was just sticking up for Ant Robinson. He got into a guy's face. Like, that's not that big of a deal. He crossed the line when he started like trying to still charge at the other team, and he's having like multiple players and coaches having to hold him back. Like, that part I can't really defend. And it clearly like cost the team. Mizzou was about to put the game away had he not done that because they had possession, and instead they gave up 2 free throws, possession the other way, and give up a run. So, yeah, like, you're going to have to live and die with those moments with Shawn Phillips. But I also think he can do a better job of reeling it in a little and not letting his emotions get the best of him in those spots because, like, I think this was a teachable moment that genuinely hurt your team.
But, like, he's a senior, and, I mean, 3 weeks ago, he got a tech on a dunk, and you thought it was the coolest thing he'd done. And I'm like, dude, he stared the guy down for 24 seconds, like, cut it off at 12. And you like, I mean, we are getting to the point in the year where the margins are thin. If something like that can beat you, and it didn't beat him today. And it's getting real tiring to see.
So I think that's fair. Where I think that people, I think what's unfair when people talk about Shawn Phillips is when they say, like Aaron said in the comments there, like Phillips is selfish or Phillips is mentally weak. Like, you just got to let guys play, man. Like, by the way, Aaron's posting he's a selfish player, or people are posting, he's mentally weak while they have a Tiger logo, or they're using a fake name on their account when they're saying this, right? So like Shawn Phillips is out there literally moving the biggest player on the court out of the way so Jaden Stone can come in and scoop up a rebound. And yeah, he might hit a guy in the face every once in a while. He might also be taking shots that you don't notice. So you got to let him play within himself. And I know he's going to get carried away sometimes, and he definitely crossed the line today. But like, you got to live with it because he does so many other good things for you.
I don't think I'm not insulting the kid, but I do think it's time that Dennis Gates says, look, man, we got to talk. Like, you got to figure out how to play with emotion without letting it get crazy, because it's going to go too far, and it's going to beat us, and it's going to be the reason we're home. There's a line that you can go up to. Like, Caleb Grill flirted with that line a lot, man. And a couple times he went over it, but he kind of figured it out last year, like how far I can go without killing my team. Like, you've got to do everything you can to help your team, and you get to that line and you stop before you hurt it, because for every good thing Shawn Phillips is doing, he's hurting the team right now with not being able to control it.
For sure. And Dennis Gates has said we can't get technicals, and he's called out Cruz and Shawn Phillips for it before. I don't think he's ever going to be somebody who like rips into a player in a press conference, though. And
I'm not saying he has to do it publicly.
Yeah. So that might be happening already. Like, he might have just pulled him right after our press conference and said, Shawn, what were you thinking there? We don't know, and we're never going to know. But yeah, like it is an issue, but I also think he still does a lot more to help the team than harm it. Today was different for sure, but most times I think he's really important.
I just think this is a team that the line is so thin that you just can't afford anything, stupid or avoidable. Like, how many times have we seen this team go up 8, 9, 10 points early on, and then at the next TV timeout, the lead is gone? I mean, so at least make the other team earn it. That's what I'm saying. Don't give them because they were up 10 and we're going to have the ball, and all of a sudden Mississippi State got 2 free throws in the ball and went on a 12-1 run.
Yeah. No, that's fair for sure.
All right. Let's jump to the voicemails and see what the people want to talk about for a little bit. And we'll go to those and then come back.
Howdy, Gabe. Still making $65K a year, still freezing my nuts off every day. Let's pray for spring to come sooner rather than later. Just want to recount a statement that I made a couple weeks ago when I said that T.O. Barrett plays basketball like a weeble wobble. After that first half, I've come to the conclusion that T.O. Barrett plays basketball like a starting point guard in the SEC. Really fabulous to see his development. Let's hope he continues it through the second half of the year.
He's been so much better than I thought he was capable of being in the last 2 weeks. I mean, it was like, I forget what game it was. Ant was playing poorly and T.O. came in and he was terrible. It might have been the LSU game. I can't remember. But Dennis basically said, hey, man, you got to take advantage of these opportunities, not piss them away. And that's my language, not his. But since then, T.O.'s been the second best player on this team.
Yeah. I think that first of all, I'm thrown off because the voicemail used the term weeble wobble, and I'm not really sure what that is.
You don't know what a weeble wobble is?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it was these these were around when I was a kid. It's this inflatable toy with like a rounded bottom. Uh-huh. And so you can hit it as hard as you want and you knock it down, but it can't, it just comes right up. So it's like Weebles wobble, but they don't stay down. God, that's
okay. I know what you're talking about. I just didn't know what the name was.
The damn youths, man.
Sorry, everybody.
I got so flustered, I just unplugged my camera.
Well, that's how I felt when I heard it. I was like, "What is a weeble wobble?" Anyway, T.O. Barrett, like you said, he's been second best player on the team. Like Jaden Stone didn't have that good of a shooting day today, and Barrett, I thought I'm still like always blown away by his vision and kind of how he's able to find the open man at times. He's really good at leading the break in transition. He's really big for a point guard too. He's 6'4" and like 200 pounds. So he's usually a bad matchup for teams defensively. And then like also he's starting to hit some 3-pointers, Gabe. Teams have been letting him open, and he's starting to make them pay for a little bit. So if he continues to keep putting it all together, like that's a guy that you can really start to build a team around and pencil him in as a potential starter for next season. So
yeah.
You
Aaron
mentioned
Tate brought that up in the chat about him making threes. I was talking to somebody with the team a couple weeks ago. I said, he's just got to start shooting them. I don't even care if they go in. Like, he's got to make somebody think he is willing to take that shot. And now, not only is he willing, he's making one or two, and that's all it takes. You do not have, he doesn't have to make 50%. He has to make one or two a game, because as soon as they have to start respecting that he might shoot, he's around him, because he gets around him most of the time anyway.
Well, and the point I was going to make, Gabe, you brought up a couple years ago that you had somebody tell you like he was the best NBA prospect on the roster from last year's team. And I know like people like to,
and I want to be clear, that was not a member of the coaching staff, because people don't believe anything this coaching staff said. That was not a member of the coaching staff that told me that. That was nobody associated with Missouri basketball. So I want to be clear about that.
A lot of people have made fun of that quote, but we're starting to see it now. Like, if you can have a player who's really good defensively, really good at getting downhill, really good as a playmaker, and is now starting to knock down threes, that's an NBA player. So if he keeps on this path, yeah, I do think he can be a pro someday.
Yeah, I got to put Tara Arnett's comment on the screen. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Drew out here making us feel 100%. Me and Tara, right there. I'm with you, Billy. If we can get Michael Brindlinger's comment on real quick.
Listen. I've got 3 weeks left in my 20s. Let me be young while I can.
All right, fair enough. You better figure out what a weeble wobble is in the next 3 weeks. Michael Brindlinger, can we get rid of coach makes up something to review, officials look at nothing for 10 minutes? So before this game started, I was sitting next to Callum McAndrew from the Tribune, and there's like 10 minutes till tip off, and he's like, I'll turn on the last 24 seconds of South Carolina LSU. It was barely over before this game started. Like Chris Jans is just like, I need a timeout. Can you go review this thing that happened 9 minutes ago? It's out of hand, man. Like, they got to figure this shit out.
So I think they have been doing a better job. And in that specific instance, like Chris Jans was appealing to officials to review a play for a flagrant foul. And if they hadn't found anything, like he would have been charged one of his timeouts for that. However, for some reason, they took 3 minutes to review it and then said, it's outside of the window.
We can't review it.
Right. So what did we stop the play for then? Like, why did it take that long to figure that out? That part I don't understand. But yeah, like the end of game stuff, I think it's more because of like teams get into the bonus really easy, and like a lot of times,
like they review everything, man.
That's true too. Yeah,
it's maddening.
I mean, I don't know what you want me to say.
You can't fix it.
I can't.
Yeah, I want you to say you agree.
I'll get Cody.
By the way, Breakfast King of Loyola wants you fired for not knowing what a weeble wobble is. I bet you did not anticipate that the weeble wobbles might lead to your downfall.
Wow.
That seems a little extreme, honestly.
I didn't mean to bring the mood down, everybody. I'm sorry.
All right, let's roll back to the next voicemail.
Hey guys, 5'6", 130, 2016 Volkswagen Atlas, 7,000 miles, I think. I never seen a 5-second call or closely guarding call before. That was cool.
All right. Interesting call. So let's talk about the actual content of the call first. And by the way, guys, I want to point out I just popped up in the corner of the screen that QR code. If you scan that, that's going to take you to the Bruning Law Firm's website. So again, you can get a free consultation from them, 573-400-2796. But if you scan that QR code, it'll take you to their website, give you a little more information about our sponsor. But Drew, you made the same point on the 5-second call. You said you can't remember the last time you'd seen that.
No, and so I honestly wasn't. I was kind of distracted during the play, so I didn't see how they got into that position. But basically, T.O. had Josh Hubbard trapped on the sideline and didn't let him get a pass off, and all you got to do is be within an arm's reach for the ref to start counting. And that was really impressive out of T.O. Again, I don't remember the last time I've seen it at the high school level, but I don't think ever at the college level.
Yeah. And I want to give you guys kind of a peek into sometimes if we sound like we watched a different game than you, or you say something. I mean, I spent basically Mississippi State's entire 20-8 run writing a story about Honor Boateng leaving the game. So I didn't see that play. I didn't see a lot of those plays. But Josh Hubbard, I wanted to ask T.O. the question, but we had to ask a bunch of meaningless questions about guys that came off the bench and stuff. So I didn't get a chance. But no shade, obviously, for me. I would never do that. But I wanted to ask T.O. the question after the game. Josh Hubbard had 2 points in the first 25 minutes of that game. Now, he ended up with 22. He's a guy that could get hot in a heartbeat, and he did. But I was really impressed with Missouri's defense on him for the first 25 to 30 minutes of that game.
Absolutely.
He came in averaging 20.7.
Yeah, and he was in a little bit of a slump, and that kind of carried over into the first half, I'm sure. But T.O. Barrett and Jaden Stone and Ant Robinson did a really good job on him through that first half. Again, I think that Shawn Phillips gets some credit because he wasn't really getting to the rim at all either. And having a shot blocker like Phillips in there can kind of deter some of those drivers away. So absolutely, Mississippi State outside of Hubbard doesn't have much going for it. So if you're able to slow him down, that makes life a lot easier for you. And once he did heat up, that's when you started. I think Mississippi State put up 44 points in the second half, but that first half was really impressive.
And that's one of the things that frustrates me when after the game it's Coach Dumb. Dude, they were throwing two guys at Josh Hubbard on every possession early in that game. It was clear. They said, we don't think you have anybody else that can beat us. And you know what? They kind of ended up being right. So maybe he deserves some credit for being a little bit less dumb than some people think.
And again, some of the shots that Hubbard is hitting, it's because he's a top 3 guard in the SEC.
Yeah.
There's nothing
he hit one that
it.
He hit one. They were down, 7 or something. It made it a 4-point game. And I actually thought Ant Robinson was too close to him. I'm don't risk a foul. He made the damn shot, man. You can't defend it better than Ant defended it.
I don't remember if it was him or if it was Jaden Epps, but Jaden Stone did give up a 4-point play.
Yeah, it was Hubbard.
Yeah, in the corner. So what can you do?
Right. Aaron says that coaches look a lot better when shots go in and they make free throws. 100%, which is why, I actually appreciated Dennis. Somebody asked him about the team going 10 for 12 late, and they said, what led to that? And he said, great coaching, man. I was telepathically in their head. That's the thing, guys. He didn't coach them to go 4 for 23 or whatever they went from the line the other day, and he didn't coach them to go 10 for 12 tonight. Free throws, just kind of beyond, that's a player, man. That's not coaching. Not every game comes down to coach smart or coach dumb. All right, let's go back You got something, Drew?
Yeah. Well, mainly because I wrote 3 stories about how they went 8 for 23, and I'm not gonna put 25 for 33 in this stats that stood out, but I did want to give them credit for shooting 76% at the free throw line today.
And 10 for 12 when it mattered. Like when they were trying to ice that game, they made 10 out of 12. And like, look, man, that team A has struggled all year, and B, they're hearing about it. Like they 100% are thinking about that when they step up to the line, and to still be able to close that out does matter. All right, Billy, let's hit the voicemail again.
Casey, after today's game, it looked like a big trend in the right direction. Finished horribly. I don't know what's wrong with Anthony Robinson. Just so far in his head, borderline unplayable. Thank God Theo Barrett has stepped up, but just the shooting from these guards is just completely unacceptable. You have defenders sagging off 15 feet from T.O., baiting him to shoot a 3. You have a defender baiting a point guard to shoot a 3. I don't know, probably got to go in the portal and, get some shooters. Great win, but Dennis cannot close out games. It just seems like up 10 or 15, just get lackadaisical play not to lose, and almost cost us the game. It looked bleak at one point. If Hubbard makes that free throw and 1-3, it's a 3-point game. So you'll take a win when you get it, but man, this team just gets the yips when they're up late. There's no execution late in games consistent, and obviously, if you do make the tourney, that's not really going to play well.
So I don't completely disagree with that. I will give them a little bit of grace today because I think the Honor Boateng injury kind of threw that team. Like, man, like guys were going over and looking away, and like they took that kid off the court on a stretcher with 11 minutes left. Like, if that doesn't happen, I think Missouri wins that game by double figures pretty easily. So I think that was a little different today.
Yes, I'll also throw in like the Shawn Phillips injury. Again, Mississippi State had 8 offensive rebounds in the second half. I don't think that happens with Shawn Phillips out there. I also want to make a correction. Like Josh Hubbard made his and 1 free throw.
He did make that and made it a 3-point game.
Yeah. And
from that point on, Missouri finished the game 10-8 and really 10-5 because the last 3 was garbage.
Right. Where I think Missouri caught a break was that Mississippi State missed the front end of a 1-on-1 when they got to the bonus. So that could have made it a 1-score game again. Instead, I think they got to the other side of the court and either T.O. or Ant drew a foul and made their free throws. So to his point about like the 3-point shooting though, like, yeah, teams aren't going to respect T.O. Barrett outside until he proves them otherwise. And
he went 2 for 4 today. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like T.O. had 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. He ain't the guy to complain about today.
And Ant Robinson 0 of 4 from 3. Like, Dennis Gates is saying he has to keep shooting. And if he doesn't shoot it, I'm going to take him out the game. So, yes, it needs to be better, but I don't think you can be mad about the shots that they're taking. Like, they're usually pretty wide open shots. And we've seen Ant Robinson shoot better than 0 for 4 before. So, yeah, like Mizzou does need to go.
I would hope so. It's hard to shoot worse than 0 for 4.
True.
I would like to say, though, here's where I think I see the lack of the killer instinct. So late in the first half, they've got like a 6 or 7 point lead coming out for the under 4 timeout. And we look up and Honor Boateng and Trent Burns are on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And like that to me is the time I want Dennis Gates to go, all right, I'm going for the kill here. I want to be up 12 at half. I don't want to see if I can steal 2 minutes with guys that, let's be honest, I kind of know probably aren't going to stretch this lead out. Like, there are times in games, like, if you get a chance with 12:48 left to sit Mark Mitchell, you do it because you know you're getting timeout in a minute. So he gets 3 minutes rest in a minute, right? But like the last 4 minutes of the first half, I would really like to see this team's approach change because and that lineup with 4 minutes left, I thought kind of allowed this to continue to be a game when it didn't have to be.
So at the same time,
kill him.
It didn't kill him. Jacob Cruz had 2 fouls. Trent Pierce had 2 fouls. Shawn Phillips had 2 fouls and a technical.
I get it.
And so, like, I guess my point is, Gabe, because I've been harping on everybody else about this. If, like, you want them to play Honor Boateng and Trent Burns instead of who? Or play who instead of those two? In that spot.
I want him to trust Jacob Cruz in his 14th year of college basketball to not commit a dumb foul. Or Trent Pierce, who is, I think, turning into one of this team's 4 best players. Hey, man, just go out there and hit a couple shots and don't do anything dumb on defense.
Can I tell you who I would have liked to see there?
Nick Randall?
Nick Randall.
I can live with that.
I thought I keep kind of liking the minutes that he brings. He had a block today.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Yeah. And they're going to keep stealing away minutes for Trent Burns, too. That's not the last time we're going to see them.
Right. There are times I understand you have to steal minutes. That was a time I felt like, hey, you have a chance to put your foot on somebody's throat. Go try to do it because they haven't done it much this year. And I get it, man. They're not a great team. But when you have that chance, I'd love to see them do it at some point.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, next call, Billy.
Matt Watson, 180K, Audi. This team needs to wake up. Dennis Gates needs to wake up, man. Why is Anthony Robinson in this damn game? Guy can't hit water out of a bucket. I don't even know if that made sense, but to not close this game out, this is a game, the only game left on the schedule where you could win a basketball game by 20. You're up 16. I know we're probably going to win. There's 30 seconds left. And Chris Jans is still bitching about something that's not there. But, I mean, how do you not win this game by 20? You're at home. You're up big against a crap team, and you let them creep back in the game. They play not to lose. It's terrible. I want Dennis out of here.
All right, Drew, can I do the old man rant here for a minute?
Yeah. Go for it.
All right. So I've taken a lot of shit over the years because, you have to know every analytic and know what every anagram stands. Not anagram. That's not the right word, but I can't think of the right word. Have to know what everything stands for and all that. They won the damn game. I mean, I understand analytics are useful. I'm not saying they're not. But I think we are seeding teams based on what was Missouri? Missouri was favored by 6.5. So I'm going to guess Ken Pom probably said they should win this game by 6 points, right? Something like that.
So. Yeah.
Well, they won this game by 5 points. Well, part of the reason they won the game by 5 points is there was a missed traveling call that led to a meaningless 3. Otherwise, they would have won by more than they were supposed to win. So are they now 3 spots worse because the refs blew a call and we had a garbage 3? Or do we take into account at any point that a dude was taken off the floor on a stretcher with 10.5 minutes left? So a game that they led by 10 for most of the game turned into something like we just I'm not against analytics, but we have become slaves to them. They won the damn game, man. This is not a perfect team. This team has to win 5 more games this season to make the NCAA tournament. Maybe 6, including the conference tournament. That's all that matters. I don't really care about did they win by 92 or 64 or 3. They have to win 5 or 6 more times. That will get them to their goal. We have gotten way too much in the weeds about like, well, they didn't win by enough, or for these 4 minutes, their fucking true shooting percentage was 3.2 points less than I wanted. Score more points than the other team. That's all I got.
I appreciate it, Gabe. Well, here's what I'll say. Hey, like, congratulations to that guy on making $180,000 a year. Good for him, and congrats on the Audi as well. I thought it was Audi, but that's just me.
I don't think he owns one because he doesn't know how to pronounce it. Whatever.
The point I want to make, though, is I think the analytics matter a lot more when you're trying to figure out, like, is this a 7 seed or an 8 seed compared to another team, right? Mizzou's just trying to make the tournament. They're just trying to get into an 11 seed play-in right now. And so, yeah, beating Mississippi State by 20 definitely would have helped the analytics. It wouldn't have helped the analytics enough to move them up to a 9 seed, though. So Daniel Gavura, I think that's how you pronounce it, mentioned in the chat a while ago, Rocco Miller, who was here at the game, said Mizzou has to go 5-4 to make the big dance. Rocco's a bracketologist. Guess who's been saying that Mizzou has to finish 10-8 to make it? So, Mizzou's 5-4 right now, and they had to win this game to set themselves up to go 5-4 the rest of the way.
It doesn't matter if those 5 are by 2 or by 30. They just have to find 5.
And it doesn't matter who the 5 are against either. Like you mentioned, they play Mississippi State, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Texas. Like, none of those are impressive wins. Yeah.
So here's the point I want to kind of make. This league isn't good, Drew. Well, there's a bunch of average basketball teams in this league. And like Missouri is one of them. I don't think Missouri's particularly good. They're the definition of mediocre, but they play a whole bunch of other teams who are the definition of mediocre as well. They've already actually beaten 2 of the best teams they're going to play all year.
Yes. What's funny, Max Barr with Southeastern 16 was talking about this earlier this week, and he said, I think like the Big Ten probably has more top-end talent, but 1 through 16,
it's like football.
I think it's still the SEC, and KenPom still has the SEC rated as the top conference in the country. But that's why I've been saying I don't think this team gets 10 teams into the tournament this year.
How many teams in this league do you believe are capable of winning a national title?
National title, maybe Arkansas. But
I would say Florida. I think Florida's the only one.
Okay, so 2.
Because I trust the guy. No, I don't think Arkansas is. I've seen Arkansas crap the bed too much outside their own building. They're also down 7 at home to Kentucky right now.
Okay, well, I mean, Florida lost to Auburn.
I know.
And Florida lost to Missouri.
I trust Florida's pedigree, and they have guys who have been there. Like, but that's the point. There's 1, maybe 2, right?
Yeah.
So what you have to do to make the tournament out of this league is beat the other mediocre to bad teams. That's kind of it. Now, Missouri's problem is they've lost to a couple mediocre to bad teams, right? So they might have to make up for that by beating Vandy or Tennessee or somebody somewhere along the line. But I don't think that, like, this is the argument we're having with SEC football right now. Like, the SEC spent 20 years telling everybody the reason it was a great league was because they won all these national titles, right? And now they're telling everybody, well, we're a great league because, like, our 14th place team is really good. You can't have it both ways, man. Which one is it? Either we are great at the top, our top teams will kick your ass, or, maybe 1 through 4 we're not as good as that other league, but, man, 5 through 16 were a lot. And I don't care which one it is, but, like, you got to pick an argument. You can't make them both.
So, Gabe, I think last week you had the line at 10.5. Where do you have it now?
Hang on. I'm going to have to look at the standings real quick. And I'm just going to run through this like live. A&M's going to make it. Arkansas, Florida, Vandy, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama. So that's 7. Oh no, line's 8.5 now.
8.5.
Yeah, because Kentucky, the next 4 teams are Kentucky, Missouri, Texas, Georgia, and Auburn, Missouri, Texas, Georgia. I'm not 100% sure that 2 of those 4 teams make it.
Mm-hmm.
So line's 8.5. Either 8 or 9 are going to get in.
Yeah, and
because I think everybody that I didn't mention, like Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, South Carolina, and Oklahoma, are out. None of those teams are making it. I'm done with all those teams now.
Fair,
right?
Yeah. No, none of those teams are. I would put in right now.
They don't have a chance without winning the league tournament.
Anonymous making a great point. The only team winning the Natty is Missouri.
I mean, be a hell of a story. Hell of a story.
But I did do the legwork on this was back when Missouri was 3-1 in conference play, but it was like if you play in the top-rated conference on KenPom and finish in the top half of the league, you're in the tournament. I don't think there's ever been a case
finish
where
over 500.
Yeah, so I think 10-8, you'll wind up in the top half. That's the goal right now. Forget what the margins are.
10-8 will get them in. I've thought that all year. I still think that. Absolutely. All right, Billy, let's hammer out however many voicemails we have left. I don't know how many it is. Hopefully they're better than the last one.
Gabe, it's Schiff. I don't need to give my salary.
Schiff, your Twitter got hacked,
anymore.
man.
You know who I am. I admit I did not watch a minute of the game. For the second weekend in a row, I chose booze over the Tigers. And that's why, Gabe, I'm calling you as a scared man. I'm starting to think there's a correlation between Schiff going to AA and Mizzou going to the NCAA tournament. We live to fight another week. I might need help, and I don't have much else for you other than that. Take care.
This is why Schiff is a great reporter. He's connecting the dots really well here.
Yeah.
Everybody give Schiff a big thank you on his hacked Twitter account.
I'm just saying, Schiff, check your Twitter, man. Like there's some stuff going out there I don't think you sent. So let's go to the next one.
Breaker 19, gonna need a timeout for a Pat Adams review. Come on back.
We got the toilet flush on the show. Pat Adams is this generation's that was Teddy Valentine for my generation, TV Teddy. Like the games were just about him, man. That's the SEC's. That's this generation's Pat Adams.
That's funny.
All right, Billy, let's keep rolling, man. We're doing well. We're getting some entertainment. Hopefully, we get more.
Gabe and Drew. Caleb speaking here.
Okay.
Good win, but it felt like this was the win that we should have got a blowout on. When you hold Hubbard, who's one of the best scorers and shooters in the SEC, to practically nothing in the first half, I would have liked to build more margin. But I'm not going to complain. I don't think we're really built as a team that can expect to beat teams in the SEC in a way that allows us to move up the metrics by a margin of victory. This team's so frustrating because, like, I want to give up on them. Like, personally, I do. But they do just enough that I'm still in, where my anticipation for the new era next year with Crow and Bryant and Chronister is so great, but I feel like we're going to sneak in and to the tournament. So let's keep it going. We have a week off until South Carolina. We got to beat South Carolina for sure. MIZ.
That was a journey. So I'm going to give some advice here. I've said this for a long time. Don't wish your life away, man. Like I texted Drew earlier this week. The most popular thread on, or the busiest thread on our message board one day was basketball next year. Guys, there's 2 months left this year. Like, I get it, man. You got that. It'll be fun. When it gets here, you can follow it and all that. Like, don't wish your life away, man. I don't know. I'm maybe it's because I'm old, but like I'm not trying to get through the next 10 months any faster than I need to.
I've also been saying it for a minute now. Like, just enjoy the games. Like, if it's not fun and you don't enjoy a 5-point win because you thought it should have been a 20-point win, like, don't watch.
And
right?
I think so. They don't play a midweek game. They're off until next Saturday at South Carolina. Drew's we're gonna buy his plane ticket. By the way, hopefully weather will allow him to get there. Yeah,
cool.
After this game, or after the show. But hopefully what that will allow you to do is watch the other games in the league on Tuesday and Wednesday and figure out everybody in this league is kind of Missouri. Like, hey, they look great for 10 minutes. Oh, they suck now. Like, that's what this whole league is, man. Like, every game they might win by 15. Like, Texas, Georgia comes here. They leave here, what I think, 4-2, and people are saying Georgia might be the best team in this league, and now they just suck. They've lost 3 games in a row. Can't beat anybody. Missouri beats the good teams and loses to the bad teams. Texas houses Georgia, houses Vanderbilt, and they're under 500. Like, nobody in this league's any good. They're all Jekyll and Hyde, man.
I actually had a friend who I went to Texas with. He texted me after the game and said, "This is the most confusing team." They won by 10 against Oklahoma today. Like, everybody
and we're down,
has the most.
We're down 13 in the first half.
Yeah. So everybody has the most confusing team in the SEC right now.
100%. All right, back to the voicemail line.
Hey, Gabe, Patrick from Oakville. Think I'm going to beat 3 dead horses here. The first horse, I feel horrible for Boateng. Gets a dunk, gets a block. Looks like he's about to get another dunk. Goes down. Sucks for him. I feel gutted for him. Then the free throws were the difference today. It's the second horse. Again, we were pretty much perfect down the stretch besides one miss from Anthony Robinson. Then T.O. Barrett 8 for 8, just a huge thing. And finally, the third horse is, what do you make of Ant's performance today? I'm trying to read into it because I was hoping today was going to be a really big reset for him. But he shot the 3 ball 0 for 4. Did have 2 assists and only 1 turnover. But just kind of looked like he was struggling a bit on the offensive end. Curious what you thought of his performance and if you think this was a bounce back at all or if I'm reading way too deep into it.
Drew, I think we need to understand that Ant Robinson's just not ever going to be like a big-time scorer. He has other ways to win the game, but like this idea that he's a guy that's going to go get you 20, that's not what he does. He's going to have to help you other ways.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think one thing that was encouraging about Ant was he was getting to the free throw line today. Now, he only shot 5 for 8, but like you'll take 4 trips from him any day of the week. Yes, he's got to make more threes. You'd like to see him finish a little bit better inside, but as long as he's drawing the whistle, which is where I think he's kind of slipped the most from a year ago, he'll be an impactful player, I think. He'll be playable.
And he was right, and he was one of the guys that Dennis had out there in the last 3 minutes. Like, that says something to me that Dennis trusted him to be out there.
Yeah, for sure. You could also say, who else was Dennis going to play in that spot? But I think,
well, sure.
Ant had a much better day than he had the past 3 weeks. Yeah. And I think you're allowed to be
perfect,
encouraged
but better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're allowed to be encouraged by that.
Totally agree.
So I wanted to know, Drew King, if you were to compare yourself to any current or past Mizzou basketball player, who would you compare yourself to? I'm going to go with Drew Bugs.
Oh, a fellow Drew.
Drew, I think you're better than that, man. Like,
Really?
that's, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't take that as a huge compliment.
Okay. Well, I support all my fellow Drews. I don't have a great history, a great knowledge of Mizzou history, so I'm kind of limited on the number of names I can draw from here. If I had to pick somebody, everybody's going to hate this pick. I would go with Noah Carter just because I like to play as kind of an undersized forward, get some buckets in the post, make guys jump off of a pump fake. But yeah, that would be probably the pick I go with comparing myself.
If you want to be a Drew in Mizzou history, you should be Larry Drew. He's the best Drew.
Okay. Drew Smith also having a pretty good season for the Heat, by the way.
Yeah, you need to teach him how to spell Drew, though.
Okay.
All right. Let's keep rolling. We got 4 or 5 more calls. We're gonna get power through these.
What's up, Gabe and Drew? 2018 Chevrolet Silverado half-ton college student. My question for you guys today, after a big game, I know it's a win, and I know it's kind of early in the season right now, but how many of these guys do you think you see coming back next season to play, and how many do you guys think are going to go to the transfer portal? Because I can't really see Sebastian Mack coming back next season, and I don't know about the other guys. So what do you guys think? MIZ.
Sebastian Mack, I think he's going to have to play now because Honor Boateng won't be playing, but he didn't play today. I mean, Barrett's back. Pierce is back.
I think if Ant wants to come back, they'll take him.
Right. That's the one that's interesting to me. Like, I could see him opting for a fresh start, but like, these guys like Dennis, man. I could see him coming back too. And like Rowe and Randall, I'm not giving up on them after a year.
No, and somebody on the board the other day brought up, well, they lost Marcus Allen and Peyton Marshall and Jordan Butler. And I think the difference with Randall and Rowe specifically is they're from Missouri, right? Marcus Allen and Peyton Marshall moved to go be closer to home. Same with Jordan Butler. Well, Aaron Rowe and Nick Randall already are close to home. So I don't know that a move for them to a different high major makes sense unless they want to just go somewhere that they can get a lot more playing time at a lower level.
But again, we got what, 10 games left minimum this year. Let's get through those 10. All right, let's keep going.
Gabe, Drew, John from Kansas City here. I still drive a Prius, and I still don't make any money because I'm an entrepreneur. Here's the thing about this team. Guys, we're not what someone would call good, but you know what? There's only 5.5 more weeks of guaranteed college basketball left this year. Can we just enjoy this team for what it is? It's a fun team to watch. It's not the best team. It's not going to do anything special. But, man, I'm happy that I came to the game today. MIZ.
I don't know if it's necessarily always fun to watch, but I agree with the spirit of the call.
I stopped listening after we put Casey Chilf, Skilf 2300. Yeah, we're banning Casey. I do not play like Mambor Majak. What are we doing?
Maybe he was just saying, like, as a human, that would be a great human being to be compared to.
I think Mambor's got a
nice man.
I'm gonna stop.
All right.
What I was gonna say
keep going before Drew says something mean. Go ahead.
The point I was going to make before I got cut off was, if we're talking about the guys transferring, right? T.O., Trent, Ant, probably the 2 Missouri kids. That leaves you with Honor Boateng, Trent Burns, Sebastian Mack, Luke Northweather. How many of those guys come back, do you think?
My answer on Honor Boateng might be different now. Because, I don't think he would have, but, where's he going to go if this is a year-long thing and you can't cut ties with him? I mean, so that's a little different. Northweather, I think will want to stay, but man, you're starting to use a whole lot of roster spots on local kids that just like being close to home. Mac, I can't see any world. Trent Burns, like, I'm sorry, man. This is a two-way street. It's not just do they want to come back. It's we need to put together a roster.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a few guys there that I think you go, hey, man, appreciate you, but we need the spot. We'll make some calls on your behalf.
Yeah, I'll put the line at 1.5 for those 4, I think.
That makes sense. I'm there. All right, Billy, let's keep
Hey,
rolling.
Gabe, it's Melissa, that John guy's wife from Kansas City. I just want to say that I appreciate the freshman's tenacity. He comes out and he just plays with his heart. Nick Randall, he comes from the high school bench that shows us what it is to play basketball. He's physical and he's got passion, and I appreciate it. Also, the fans decided to have passion at the last 2 minutes. As an Ole Miss alum who went through heck and back this past year, I appreciated that the fans decided to show up the last 2 minutes. So thank you, Mizzou fans, for showing up for your team. Keep up with it. Don't let your team down. M-I-Z.
All right, so Drew, I'm going to need you to break this down. Do you think that John told his wife, like, hey, I just left a voicemail. I can't leave another one. You got to do the next one. Do you think they're separately voicemailing us from, like, different rooms and, like, one doesn't know the other sent us a voicemail? What do we think?
I think Melissa heard John leave us a voicemail and maybe asked, like, what's that? And John said, oh, I was leaving a voicemail for the show. She's like, give me that phone. I'm going to leave a voicemail now. That's what I think happened. But I will say, like, that was one of the better voicemails today. Shout out Melissa.
Yeah, so Melissa probably said, look, you screwed up your voicemail. Yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Yeah. I'm going to leave a better voicemail. And the wives usually do a better job, right? So that's probably what happened.
My only note for Melissa, we didn't get her job or how much she makes in a year. So let us know next time, Melissa. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I just want Breakfast King of Loyola's comment in the chat to not be true. That's all I'm going to say. All right, Billy, let's go to the last one.
What up, Gabe? You look good with the headband on with the bald head of yours across the court. Got a feel for Boateng. That's a horrible injury. Glad Dennis finally fixed his rotation. Trent starting, Cruz to the bench. It'll be okay, though, for Jacob. Last thing, how do you feel about 6'5" guard Trey Hipple from KC getting his 4th star? Thought that was kind of interesting. But one more thing. Shout out to my dog, Andrew. It's his birthday today. Hopefully get some sex tonight. Birthday sex, that is. M-I-Z.
What was that guy's name?
I don't remember.
Yeah, what happens between you and your dog is I don't know, man. I don't want it on my YouTube channel. I know that.
Thank you for clarifying that, by the way.
I also want to be clear. I don't sit on press row wearing a headband. What was that about?
I don't know. I will. Can I make a comment on one of the serious points he made, which was like moving Trent Pierce?
He made a serious point?
He did. He was talking about Jacob Cruz moving to the bench and saying he'll be all right. I was a little bit skeptical of the move. I didn't think either player was like head and shoulders above the other at all. And I do think Trent Pierce like deserves credit for getting off to the hot start. But I also think Jacob Cruz deserves some credit for like coming off the bench and providing energy. He shot 2 for 3 today. I thought he played really well too. So like I didn't quite understand why everybody was like, hallelujah, we moved Jacob Cruz out of the starting lineup, because like Trent Pierce wasn't playing all that much better either.
Yeah. But the important stuff, do you have any thoughts on his dog's birthday?
Happy birthday to the dog.
And what should happen there in his...
Was that our last one? Is that what we're ending on?
Yeah, that's what we're ending on.
That's tough.
Yeah. Happy birthday to Rover. Godspeed, man. Sounds like you got a long night in front of you. Apologize. This is the worst transition I've ever made to thank the Bruning Law Firm for sponsoring our show. I apologize to Joey and AJ and all the rest that the dog birthday led into the outro of the show, but we appreciate them being a part of this. We appreciate you guys being a part of this. If you get in a situation where you're hurting, time does matter. You want to get in touch with the Bruning Law Firm. They've got your back. I don't know if they take canine cases or not, what might go on there, but they take human cases. You can call them at 573-400-2796 for a free consultation. This is going so badly at the end. 573-400-2796. The Bruning Law Firm, the fastest growing personal injury firm in the state of Missouri. They'll take care of you if you live in Missouri, Kansas, Illinois. Appreciate all you guys hanging out here with us tonight. Like, comment, share, subscribe before you leave. No Tiger Terry tonight. He's busy. It's also his dog's birthday, so he's got things going on.
Oh, all right.
I have no idea.
Johnny in the chat says Drew is Jordan Wilmore and Gabe is like Ben Sternberg. How do you feel about that?
Feel bad. I don't like this show anymore. We're going to end it. Thanks for hanging out. Talk to you next time.